Good Friday, everyone. Thanks for stopping by Garden State Weather and GardenStateWeather.blogspot.com, providing superior forecasting for the northern mid-Atlantic region 24 hours a day. I'm forecaster Robert Smith on this chilly last Friday to the month of April, April 24th, 2015. And it definitely is a chilly morning out there this morning. Normal low values for minimum temperatures at this time of the year should be generally in the mid and upper 40s across the Connecticut River Valley, the New York City metropolitan area, the I-95 corridor, and down through the Delmarva. And as of this morning, we find temperatures just near or above freezing with a cloud cover. We had a few low temperatures this morning in northwestern New Jersey, below freezing here, but the freeze warning has been discontinued for this morning, but it's been reintroduced for tonight into tomorrow morning as well. And the winds this morning, albeit a little calmer than they were yesterday, still quite gusty in the teens and lower 20s. And if we factor in that with the wind chills, it's going to make it feel like it's in the upper 20s to low and mid 30s this morning on your way out the door. Quite chilly. Still have some mid-level clouds across the region, mainly to the north and to the west of the region this morning. Clear skies out on Long Island. And most of this will begin to filter out with sunshine during the afternoon hours, but the morning hours pretty much going to be just a gray, cloudy morning, with temperatures generally running right now anywhere from the upper 30s into the low 40s across the region. And the northwest winds continue. Morning surface chart from weatherroanoke.com. A digital atmosphere software shows our low pressure here over Nova Scotia and high pressure building in across the Ohio and Tennessee and Mississippi River valleys. This tight pressure gradient will mean gusty winds this afternoon, maybe perhaps not as strong as yesterday, but still, the more sunshine we get filtered into the area this afternoon, the higher chances of a little bit more mixing, and then some of those winds just mix down to the surface with gusty conditions from time to time. We're expecting more of a clearing sky across the region during the afternoon and evening hours. Let's hope. Visible pass of the satellite this morning, we can see the tufts in the clouds as the air flows over the ridges of the mountains here. So quite a lot of mid-level clouds across the region, and hopefully a lot of this will begin to filter out by the afternoon. The water vapor channel showing this nicely. Not too much lift, but still quite a bit of moisture content in the mid and upper levels of the atmosphere, with a drying slot much more pronounced across Pennsylvania and the Ohio Valley, and that should be helping us to clear our skies out during this afternoon and evening. Now, we do have quite an impressive storm system with convection here. Could be some strong thunderstorms and even tornadic activity in this region of Texas during today. We'll be monitoring that. Meanwhile, downstream across the eastern United States, things are pretty quiet. Our upper level low over Nova Scotia and Maine here are spinning out some vortexes which are channelized. That means basically in the west flow there'll be sinking air that will be converging over the region, and that will keep most of the precipitation out of the region for today. As for watches, warnings, and advisories, we'll start on the ocean, where we have small craft advisories in effect until 6 p.m. this evening. Northwest winds 15 to 20 knots, gust up to 30 knots, seas 2 to 4 feet. Also for the New York coastal waters, we have small craft advisories until 6 a.m. Saturday. Northwest winds 15 to 20 knots, gust up to 30 knots, seas 2 to 4 feet. Over here in the whites here, we have freeze warnings. First of all, on Long Island, interior Connecticut, northwestern New Jersey, out into the Poconos region, and southwest, just northwest of Philadelphia. We have freeze watch in effect from late tonight through Saturday morning. We're expecting more clearing skies than we did this morning over these regions tomorrow. Temperatures around freezing, so the potential for sensitive crops and plants to be killed, and that will be anywhere where you see the white boxes in here. And the green boxes over the New York City metropolitan area, west to northwest winds range from 15 to 20 miles an hour with gusts up to 30 miles an hour, and minimum relative humidity values will range from 25 to 30% this afternoon. And of course, these conditions we know enhance the spread of any fires that may develop, so we're going to be mindful of that. And that is really correct throughout even northeastern Pennsylvania and also parts of the interior areas of Philadelphia, Chester, Wilmington, and all the way into the growing areas here, the farm areas here in Delaware as well. And the agricultural forecast for northern New Jersey and southeastern Pennsylvania issued by the Rutgers University in New Brunswick. Rainfall amounts none through Saturday. Winds for spraying northwest 10 to 20 miles an hour today, northwest 5 miles an hour or less tonight, northwest 5 to 10 on Saturday. Relative humidities 30 to 40% today, 80 to 90% tonight, 30 to 40% Saturday. Dew points 20 to 25 through Saturday. Drying conditions good today and Saturday. Frost freeze or dew, light dew, and widespread frost over areas of hard freeze degrees tonight and less widespread Saturday night. Percentage of possible sunshine 80% later today, 90% on Saturday. And for myself and many who are suffering from allergies, it's going to be quite high today, right through Tuesday. And this is due to the windy conditions and dry relative humidity values of the next couple of days. Maple, juniper, and poplar. Medication is a must. On the aviational weather deck today, VFR conditions across the region. Cloud cover this morning will begin to scatter out and dissipate throughout the day with mostly clear skies returning by this afternoon. Winds will be the main concern again today as winds gust once again into the upper 20 knot range at times during today. The gusts should drop off after sunset and overnight, although a steady breeze should remain for most areas. VFR conditions in place for flying tomorrow. And also on Saturday night, VFR conditions, northern airports and terminals, some rain and some sub-VFR conditions possible, mainly south of Wilmington, Atlantic City. Sunday and Sunday night, becoming VFR, Delmarva Airport Sunday, and mainly VFR airports and terminals everywhere else. Monday, VFR with some gust north to northwest winds, some isolated showers occurring too. Monday night and Tuesday, mainly VFR with less of a wind impact. Still a busy forecast nonetheless, and a chilly one too. Right now outside of Newark, it's chilly. 39 degrees, dew point 21, humidity 48%. The wind is out of the northwest 16, gust to 23, and the wind chill at 30. And the winds will be the story today under VFR conditions. Philadelphia, too, same kind of story, 40 degrees. That's still below normal for this time of the year. Dew point 19, humidity 43%. Wind northwest at 20, wind chill 30. The story today, VFR conditions, but gusty winds. And these pesky upper-level northern polar branch or lows just continue to spin around the region. They're closed off, so they move very slowly, and underneath them, channelized vortexes exiting the region today, more drying in a downsloping flow this afternoon as high pressure begins to build in across this region. And this is quite an impressive storm system here. This could be a volatile situation here across Texas. Here's another upper level low that is will be developing, and here's another one off of the northwest coast of the Pacific. This will be influencing our weather early next week as well. And a look at the 500 millibar wind streams here from Earth mapping. Here's our closed low over Nova Scotia here, and our convergence in the polar and subtropical jet streams here, meaning downsloping. This convergence means eventually clearing and modifying temperatures over the next couple of days after a chilly start during today and tomorrow. Meanwhile, strong high pressure off of the Gulf of Mexico, Gulf Coast here, Yucatan Peninsula, Mexico here, and the upper low, which is not completely closed off yet, our trough axis here in the southwest. A very volatile day here in the central and southern plains, especially the Texas panhandle. We'll be monitoring this. And just a blocking pattern, a strong negative North Atlantic oscillation setting up, or at least a moderately one setting up. And it continues the blocky pattern in both the polar jet stream and the subtropical jet stream, and this means that we're going to have quite a bit of a challenge in the forecast as we head into late next week. GFS forecast into the future, well, basically spinning away our low. Here comes the next disturbance across the Tennessee River Valley, bringing clouds into the region again on Saturday night and Sunday, particularly southern regions where there could be some light rain around the region as the low transfers its energy to off the Carolina coast, becomes the primary low. And most of this region here in the northern mid-Atlantic I-95 corridor should remain dry. The further south you go, some lighter rain could be expected over the southern and central Delmarva region. And high pressure once again builds in, but the upper level low continues to spin around offshore and retrograde back toward the coast, so there could be some isolated spotty showers across the region anytime, especially Sunday, Monday, or early Tuesday, but for the most part, most regions will remain dry with a modification in temperature, but still below normal for this time of the year. Now, the question for late next week comes from the subtropical jet stream, and right now there seems to be a difference between the GFS, the CMC, and the European model guidance as to whether that storm system in the south is going to turn up the coast and provide deepening rapid coastal nor'easter or not. The European model's been on and off with this over the last several runs, and it's on it this morning as of last night, but the GFS, CMC, and the other ensemble models have a slight disagreement. The PNA signature, or the ridging across the western United States, and the blocking pattern in the northern Atlantic argue for the fact that this could actually turn out as a very wet system coming up the coast late next week. In terms of temperatures, we'll be able to moderate back into the 60s in many of the interior regions during early next week, and possibly even the normal temperatures of the mid and upper 60s by the middle of the week if the storm system doesn't cut up the coast. But I have to say that for the most part over the next 7 days, temperatures will still average below seasonal levels. So keep that coat or hoodie at the ready because you're going to need it. For everything live, it's Garden State Weather, gardenstateweather.blogspot.com, Twitter, Facebook, and Google+. I'm forecaster Robert Smith. Have a fantastic weekend. We'll be back in video form on Monday morning.